ZipRecruiter's matching technology moves fast. It finds top talent for you, so you're not wasting time or money. You can see immediately how many job seekers in your area are actually qualified for the role. A holiday miracle on its own. And their advanced resume database lets you instantly unlock contact info for the strongest candidates. Make your hiring a little merrier with ZipRecruiter. Just go to this exclusive web address right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. ZipRecruiter.com/random. The internet moves fast, but great design, that sticks around. And that's the point. Squarespace has evolved. It's not just for portfolios anymore. Now you can actually sell your services right through your site. Coaching, consulting, guitar lessons, whatever you do, all beautifully built and booked in one place. Head to squarespace.com, start your free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use code CLUBRANDOM for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Love the night? Reach for Zyn After Dark, a limited cocktail-inspired series for those who get up when the sun goes down. Try Zyn's Mojito, spiced cider, and espresso martini nicotine pouches. Find them at select retailers. Available while supplies last. Zyn After Dark. Bring on the night. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Oh, you're gonna get me in trouble. You're gonna get me in trouble, Bill. You're gonna get me in trouble.
Why? There's no trouble for
Because
you.
I'm
Your life
supposed
is
to.
trouble.
Club Random.
I don't know
Take
where,
a little
I don't
bit
know
of
where on
Southern
TikTok
Canada
you're
for
getting
ourselves.
this information.
No, it's not TikTok. I'm
But
very
it
well
is.
read on this.
Club Random.
Anana's here?
Hello.
But I have everything I need.
Hi.
Hi.
So
How
nice
are
to
you?
meet you.
Oh, you are dressed. Good for you. I dress up too for the.
You look good.
I do. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm not going to start a big fight about it. Well, as I always say, when people say that there should be a Chiron for your age, like, that's what I really mean. You know, if I was 35 and I walked in and be like, oh my God, were you in a fire?
You actually look younger in person, to be honest.
Thank you. I think it's the setting. This room is very magical to me, and I feel obviously it's a very immature room.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm glad you do.
Yeah.
Do you have a room like this in your house?
I don't.
Something that's like weird and just where you put everything that didn't fit anywhere else?
I mean, no. I'm actually pretty meticulous about how I design my place. It's very feminine, though, so you got to give my husband a lot of credit for handling it well.
I have pictures of my house, which is next door. I wouldn't come here. I mean, I wouldn't live here. I'd come here, but I wouldn't live here. And it was owned by a woman before, and oh my God, the difference. It just speaks to, you know, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Remember that
Very
book?
much so, yeah.
I mean, that is true and also not true. I think we accent that so much that we forget that, no, like, there's a lot of stuff. I certainly know that when I was younger, I would have done better with women if I wasn't just so, oh my God, they're girls, and girls are sexy and great. And if I just was like, no, like, this is a human, like, there's a commonality that you're so obsessed with the excitement that you miss.
The big issue is men and women just communicate so differently, right? Like, it's pretty inherent. So we want to vent. Women want to vent. We don't want to hear your solutions to our problems, right?
Vent?
To vent, yeah. So when we're like being vulnerable and opening up about something we're going through, the last thing we want to hear is unsolicited advice. We just want you to listen. But men are different. Men want to...
Right, and that is one reason I've never gotten married. I could not do that.
Yeah.
I feel these, and by the way, not every woman feels that way. Like, if you really put it to a woman and say, if I just fix this, would you be good with that? Because, like, certainly I couldn't when I was younger, but, like, as I got older and more successful, it's like I've learned one important lesson in life. If you throw money at a problem, it usually goes away.
I mean, that's pretty true.
Usually,
yeah.
Not emotional stuff, but like a lot of other stuff.
Money does solve a lot of issues. That's for sure.
If I just threw money at this problem, made it go away, would that be okay if I just fix this? Because
if you front load the "I'll pay for it, don't worry about it anymore,"
we'll accept
it.
But not just that. I mean, not just paying, but also manly stuff, like. I mean, of the thing you're talking about, I feel like the classic cliche is bitching about the boss. And I feel like if I could say to a woman, listen, you bitch about this every night, I'm just going to hire someone to kill him.
Ooh, I like that.
Exactly. I'm just going to fix this. And then I don't have to listen to you talk about it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to fix it. It can be done. I mean, I know good people, reliable people who are not going to get carried away, and just handle it.
Yeah.
But
what about you? Do you ever feel like you just want to like rage about something to someone? You don't want any solutions. You don't want any advice.
Yes, I call that my audience.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't want to rage. I feel like I'm the anti-rager, even though I am very critical, obviously, of both sides, and love my job and doing that. But rage, I'm trying to get the rage down and the mental part down. And I mean, it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
My message last week on our last show this season, and every Thanksgiving really for the last 5 years, has been I'm in the talk to them wing of the Democratic Party. I'm not in the cut your people off.
Right.
Don't cut them off. And I have friends who are not on that side of it and didn't like what I said. And
have they cut you off?
Well, it's such an interesting issue. One relationship that's in the balance. I mean, it was.
And that's not a real friend. Like.
Well, I mean, we weren't close. I mean, I'm talking like it was Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, I said it publicly, and I like Jimmy a lot. And his wife wrote that thing that said, she did lose family members. She wrote them before the election and said, here's 10 reasons why you just can't vote for Trump. And then some of them, just didn't follow that. And I was as kid-gloved as I could. And I see they're mad at me, and I'm sorry. I mean, I was being, again, as respectful as I could, but I don't agree with that point of view. And since she went public with it, it wasn't out of school for me to go public with it. I love Jimmy. I always have. I don't know him that well, but he's a great guy. And we have a connection, like we were both fired by ABC, and he took I had that time slot, so like it's so interesting. The same ABC, I mean, Disney executive, Candace, both. It's interesting, the connections, and so I hope we're friends forever, but I don't know. The liberals and the woke, that's a schism. It just is.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that the time of my life where I was the most miserable was probably 2015 through 2019.
Before the pandemic.
It was before the pandemic. I mean,
wow.
The pandemic
got better for you. Things got
a little
better.
I mean, look, actually, I hate to admit it, but things did get better for me during the pandemic. I was
Really?
like, I get to work from home. Like, I'm exhausted. I'm burnt out.
And it didn't put pressure on the marriage? Because lots of lots of people said that. People broke up because it's like, oh, I got to look at your ass all day. That I didn't bargain for that.
That wasn't at all an issue with us. It did kind of start to be. So my husband was a bartender when the pandemic hit. And so he obviously got laid off right away, which I was, understanding about. I think what started to kind of get in between us, although not to the point where it became a problem, was where I felt like I was working all the time, even though I was working from home. And he was a bartender, so like he doesn't really have any other options other than making a career change.
Of course.
So finally got to a point where I was like, you need to make a career change. And I'm glad I did that, even though it was difficult for me to do, because like being the nagging wife is not my thing.
Right.
But he was understanding about it, and he then pursued what I think he was always meant to do, which is he's the head baseball coach at a school, and he was a professional baseball player prior to that. When his baseball career ended, that was when he came out to LA and started kind of like working at restaurants and stuff to figure out, what do I want to do next? And then he got comfortable. You know, I think that happens to a lot of people. So COVID was like a bit of a crisis that we took as an opportunity to move forward in life in certain ways, if that makes any sense.
This sounds like the kind of thing, I never got married, but I've never been a person, I think people have this misconception that I'm anti-marriage. I'm only anti-marriage for me. Mm-hmm. I get it, because I see so many of my friends who are married, and of course most marriages do fall apart in some way, but I also know plenty of people who have had great ones and would be really lost without their spouse. And like some people, they're just, their nature is to be in a partnership.
True.
You know, it's a seesaw thing. That's not me.
Yeah.
I'm a lone wolf. Always have been.
If you know yourself and that's what you like, then go for it. I mean, it's all, like, life is so short.
I'm very social, but ultimately I'm a lone wolf. But this sounds to me like what a marriage should be like. Not nagging, but when you need that person to, you know, you're on this teeter-totter together to get things even and balanced, they're there to do that.
Totally.
And that's great. I mean, if you're of that personality, I think most people are. Most people are always looking for, you know, complete me, and some of that is cliche, but some of it is kind of true. I've seen people who, like, were incomplete.
I didn't realize I was incomplete until I met him. And there are qualities of his that I think I've adapted for the better. So for instance, he's just such a kind-hearted person who sees the good in everyone. And so when I talk about the period of my life when I was the most miserable, I wasn't able to see the good in everyone, right? And so I was very much in the mindset of who you vote for demonstrates what your values are. And if I have determined that the person you voted for is a bad actor or immoral, that means you're bad and you're immoral. And it is a terrible place to be where you think half the country is awful.
Exactly what my theme was Friday. And you know, so I was disappointed that, you know, I said about the thing, again, trying to be respectful. She had said I sent my relatives a letter with 10 reasons you should not vote for Trump. And I, first of all, said, 10, I could think of 100.
That's true.
But like, to me, a better exercise, and as someone who votes Democratic, a better exercise would be write a letter to yourself, 10 reasons why you might imagine those 77 million Americans could not vote. But I want to get back to this husband thing.
Okay.
Just for a second.
Love talking about my husband.
Because I'm very interested in this. It's just endlessly fascinating to me, like how different people do it. You know, and how they make it work.
When we do it real well, I'll tell you that.
Well, please, this is a family oh, no, it's not. It's Club Random. What the fuck am I talking about? I'm drinking and taking drugs and swearing. It's not a kid show at all. And kids, by the way, it would not be the worst message, kids, if you're gonna fuck, do it well.
Do it well.
Do it well. Remember the song?
Give it your all.
Doing it
well.
You do remember that?
Of course I do.
That is the single best sex song ever.
It is pretty sexy.
LL Cool J.
Yes. It's actually, man, they don't make music like that anymore.
They don't make that one anymore. They certainly don't.
Yep.
And it was so sexy. And then when he got to the part when he says, I was raised out in Queens, she was from Brooklyn, or it was made the other way. I was like, what does that have? It's so sexy. And then we have to talk about what borough we're from. It just always cracked me up.
I know.
You know?
It's like the beat of that song.
Record.
Yeah, the woman who's like singing in a sultry way and moaning at the same time.
Yes.
So sexy.
And the lyrics. I mean, they're dirty without being like... He's got some that are like, trust me, would not win the now Man of the Year honors.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah.
But this one doesn't tip over into that.
Right.
But see, your dynamic sounds to me like Lifeguard.
Oh, tell me more. What do you mean?
Lifeguard, the movie?
I didn't see that.
Of course you didn't. It was from 1976, and I saw it when I was 20. Why you would have seen it, there's no reason. But there's a movie, and I did like it when I was 20. Sam Elliott, you know who that is, the actor?
No.
No, Sam Elliott?
I'm not great with movies and pop culture, which is hilarious because I started my career as an entertainment
Sam
reporter.
Elliott, you would recognize him. Mm-hmm. He's now on Landman. He plays Billy Bob Thornton's dad. He looks like he's 1,000,000 years old. Mm-hmm. But in 1976, he was young and hot, and he played Lifeguard. And the lifeguard was this guy. He's a lifeguard, and he's 33, and he goes to his 15-year high school reunion, and he meets up with Ann Archer, Scientologist. We'll leave that out of it. Hottie of her day, and kind of reconnects. But she doesn't want him to be a lifeguard, which is kind of like Bartender, But he's good at it, and he saves lives.
He was good at He made a mean martini, I will say that.
And sometimes you do kind of save lives. I mean, you do talk to people, and I mean, it's
totally.
It's a great job. But she wants him to grow up because, you're 30, if we're going to be together. So he's got to decide, well, the chick wants me to be a Porsche dealer, put on a tie and be with the man. But I like being out in the sun and so all I could say is he went back to the lifeguarding thing, but you could be the Porsche dealer and that's fine too.
Yeah. I mean, look, for me, what I get out of my marriage is it's emotional, right? It's more than just, what does he do for a living? And you got to get along with the person. You have to look forward to seeing them at the end of the day, right? And he's my at the end of the day, he's my best friend, And when I'm at my lowest, he's the only person that can kind of lift me back up, He just gets me. And more importantly, I need a guy who, is not, sensitive to the idea that his wife is successful in her career, right? There are
and you're very successful now.
I'm okay. I'm doing well.
Oh, you're doing very well.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're at Club Random.
That's true.
No, you're everybody. Everybody wants you as you're a podcast star.
Thank you.
That's a good thing to be in this day and age. I mean, I'm in podcasting, but also obviously television. And is there even going to be television in 3 years? I mean,
not in the way that we traditionally think of it, right? And I think that's a good thing. I think it's right?
Well, I know. It did buy this house. I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing.
You made a smart move. I think you saw the writing on the wall, and it's better to have,
Look, we're both what they call content. Mm-hmm. Let the other people figure out where the content goes. It's not my job, okay? Mm-hmm. The content, where it goes. I'm the content. The other people will figure it out. There'll be a market for the content. That I know. So you can put it on streaming, you can put it in your pants, you could put it in the theater, you could, whatever you're gonna do, you could directly into their brain. AI could just tell you what I'm thinking. I don't know what the fuck it is gonna be. But I don't think AIs can do exactly what we do.
I don't either. I am worried about AI when it comes to large swaths of the American population because their jobs will be replaced with AI.
It seems like we're sailing toward this iceberg.
Totally.
And everyone is sort of pretending that's not what's going to happen, even though there are people in the industry itself who are saying, no, this is it can do 30 to 40% of the coding jobs right now. So
already so many coders are losing their jobs in Silicon Valley, which is the most ironic thing in the world.
So ironic.
Right? The first to go are the workers who helped kind of foster this new technology.
And also the kind of pretenders of the left who are care about the people, the marginalized people, as we should. But then it was I can say that because my jobs are safe. It's not going to come from my job. I'm I went to college. And, okay, I have a degree, and
Yep. And that's such a great point.
Oh shit, it's my job too.
Right. That's known as the professional managerial class, right? And
correct.
Yes.
And
so they have, thought that they've been safe, but meanwhile, in the background, you have new technology being developed that's going to make their positions totally antiquated, irrelevant, unnecessary, which, middle management, my heart doesn't necessarily break for them, but my heart does break for the country, right, overall, because I think if we don't find solutions to this.
Middle management is not.
Yeah, I don't think people are shedding tears for middle management. No offense to the middle managers I deal with.
No, but that term does not pull on the heartstrings.
Right, exactly.
Like Ukrainian orphan or,
Right.
Middle, yeah, you're right.
Or, a truck driver. Like, I worry about the drivers. Like, they're going to be out of a job soon. So what's the plan? And that's the thing that worries me, because I look at the political landscape, and I think you and I, the one area where I think we have a lot of agreement is where we are willing to be critical of the Democratic Party. I'm obviously also critical of the Republican Party. Neither party seems competent for the moment that we're in.
No.
And that's terrifying.
I agree.
Yeah, it's absolutely terrifying.
Right. It reminds me of the, I'm sure you watch the World Series every inning.
Oh, definitely,
But there was one 18-inning game, which is very long.
That was the Dodgers and...
Yes, the Dodgers and the Blue Jays.
Right.
And that's twice as long. It's 9 extra innings, a whole nother game. And it's like nobody scored in those extra innings. It was like, wow, this is there for the taking for one of you teams to win this game, which was tipped the series to you, and nobody could do it. And I was like, that is exactly what the Republicans and the Democrats... I mean, the Republicans, when they came into office, they so had the wind at their back. All they had to do was not get drunk with power.
Yeah.
And fuck it up. And of course, that's exactly... and I don't think his instincts about fixing this and this and this and this are wrong always. There is lots of shit that needs fixing, and some he's fixed great, in my view, like did better in the Middle East than anybody had done, got NATO to pay for shit, colleges out of control, yes. But of course, almost everything, the way he does it, is just a disaster. And
I agree with you on
it's
NATO.
Cruel,
Yeah.
And it's unnecessary. Doge, it's like just unnecessarily asshole-ish to a problem that if you had just, handled it in a just a more humane, human, far-sighted way, you'd have the people behind you. And now he's starting to lose them.
Oh, starting
because of the economy.
Yes.
And they, even with immigration, even though they agreed with him, they don't like the...
They don't like watching day laborers at Home Depot parking lots get snatched up by masked men, right? Like, they don't like seeing, parents get snatched up by ICE agents as they're dropping their kids off to school. Like, I think Biden really did mess up when it comes to immigration, 100%. So I actually really sympathize with people who were furious over what happened with immigration under the Biden administration. At the same time, I don't think most Americans who think of themselves as hardliners on immigration realize just how integrated undocumented immigrants are in our society, right? And I'm talking about people who have been here for literally decades, who do pay taxes, but don't get the benefits that come along with the, various public programs that they're funding through their taxes. And there needs to be a better solution than swinging from one extreme to another on this topic. And the thing that I am the most furious about, honestly, is Congress. Congress is the most useless branch of our government at the moment. I'm not saying it's unnecessary. I think it's an important part of our government. But over the last few decades, we both know Congress has ceded much of their power to the executive branch as it pertains to foreign policy. Big mistake.
That's been going on for 70 years.
Absolutely.
Congress is supposed to be the most important branch of government. I mean, that's what the Constitution says, for sure.
They're the ones who are supposed to write the bills and pass the bills.
Power of the purse, power of declaring war. The president is just the guy who is supposed to carry it out. He executes it. He's the top executive. But he's like, you hire a CEO to run your company.
Right.
But he's not the dude. He's carrying out what the guy who owns Starbucks is, his vision.
Right.
Okay. That is, as you say, completely lost. And The only, I mean, I did a piece a few weeks ago about the Supreme Court being the last line of defense here. We're going to see what they're going to say about tariffs, like whatever you think about tariffs.
They have to strike it down. I mean,
it's a congressional thing.
Yes.
And so, like these kind of basic things, I'm not completely pessimistic about how the court is going to rule. The Supreme Court does have the ability to surprise you.
Yeah, definitely.
And sometimes they take a hip pill and get it right. Not always, and they have certainly gotten a lot more conservative over the years. But I'm not going to with all Trump stuff, I said this time I'm not going to do it like the first term. Like when it happens, maybe I'll get upset if it's the thing that is worth getting upset about and talking about and critiquing, and I never pull a punch on that. But, I don't give a shit about the ballroom. And if you do, it's just an indication that Trump is much too part of your personality. It doesn't matter. First of all, it doesn't cost you anything.
That's the number one thing, and that's the most important thing.
Even if it did,
I don't care.
It's like 2 seconds of the interest we pay every day.
But can we talk about the feminine qualities of our president for a minute? Okay,
everything is so gay.
Yes.
I mean the
no offense, but yes.
Ballrooms and gold everything.
Oh, the millwork on the walls and everything. He's so proud of it.
It's a very butch administration, and Hegseth with the we want no gays. We just want well-shaved, strapping young men in perfect shape. I mean,
same.
The whole thing is.
It's amazing. It really is.
It's very gay. You ever watch one of those Hallmark Christmas movies and just think, how did this get made? But no matter how bad the movie is, it takes a team. And when it comes to building such a team, you need to hire the right people. The best way to do that is with ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/random. Now, here's why it works. ZipRecruiter's matching technology moves fast. It finds top talent for you, so you're not wasting time or money. You can see immediately how many job seekers in your area are actually qualified for the role. A holiday miracle on its own. And their advanced resume database lets you instantly unlock contact info for the strongest candidates. Make your hiring a little merrier with ZipRecruiter. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Just go to this exclusive web address right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. ZipRecruiter.com/random. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/random. This episode is brought to you by Squarespace, which apparently we promoted last month using vintage visuals, like pre-iPhone 10 vintage. But they looked new to us, which is a testament to good design. The internet moves fast, but great design, that sticks around. And that's the point. Squarespace has evolved. It's not just for portfolios anymore. Now you can actually sell your services right through your site. Coaching, consulting, guitar lessons, whatever you do, all beautifully built and booked in one place. And if you need building, they've got this blueprint AI that basically reads your mind in a few clicks and builds a whole site that actually looks good. Not your uncle made it in 1998 good, real, award-winning, professional good. So if your business is living in the past, it's time to upgrade with a solution that can upgrade with you. Head to squarespace.com, start your free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use code CLUBRANDOM for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
But, so you have this going on the federal level, which is bad enough. But as you and I both know as Californians, we get a double whammy of experiencing the incompetence of leadership in our state. And so I feel like I find myself in this really interesting position of experiencing what corrupt Democratic leadership looks like and how disastrous it is. And then on a federal level, I'm not, loving a lot of what's been happening recently with the Trump administration.
No.
And I understand Americans who have just completely written off politics. They don't vote, they don't engage. I think that's a mistake, but I understand where that's coming from.
I feel the same.
I just don't know how to fix it. I don't know if it's fixable.
It's not, as long as there's like smartphones, but because that just is making us ever stupider. And I mean, people don't know anything anyway. So, I mean, they've completely lost the thread with education. But can I tell you, you're talking about California.
Yep.
I mean, you're from here, right?
Yes, born and raised.
Okay. So here's a fire story. Like in January when the fire hit, Matt Gaetz was the scheduled guest. I think it was January 7th. And he drove through the fire to get here to keep the booking. I mean,
wow.
I've had people cancel bookings for nothing. And then we chatted here right up until the evacuation order came.
No way.
Yeah.
Good for him. That's actually really impressive. No, but seriously.
Well, as my catch line is always, everybody's a monster till you talk to them.
Yeah.
And then there are certain things you're obviously going to still disagree about. You know, I mean, Laura Trump was here, like last show we did, and you know, as all these shows with the Republicans, I mean, they take their beating like a man. They never ever like get upset when we go back, and I mean, there must have been 6 to 8 major things that, you know, I just pushed back on, you know, and 2 minutes later we're laughing, and there's a way to do it where you just cannot expect, you just can't have that attitude of you must come around to my way of thinking or you're dead to me, unfriend you, cut you off, no Thanksgiving for you. It just doesn't work. Even if it was the right thing to do, which it is not, because you are not God and you don't know what the answer is. And again, imagine 10 reasons why they think differently. People are different. They grew up in different parts of the country. They have a different thing that was put in their head as a child, different personalities. A lot of politics is your personality. People are sometimes just born square. You're a square. What party are you going to be? You're going to be in the square party. You know?
Yeah.
And it's just, to hate them for that is just, it's cuckoo.
I mean, there's very few people that I hate. I think I can maybe name one. But for me, it's about a person's actions and whether or not they are wittingly hurting others and totally okay with it. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good standard.
Yeah. And I love political debate. I really do. And I forget oftentimes when I'm engaged in a passionate, you know, political debate that not everyone thinks the way I do, because I'm able to get as fiery as we need to as we're, you know, arguing. But once the debate's over, it's over, right? We just had a policy debate. Like, it doesn't, just because we have different points of view doesn't mean that I'm going to write you off and I'm done with you. I've had fiery debates on the show I host and executive produce, The Young Turks, you know, with the CEO of the company and founder, Cenk Uygur. We don't agree on everything, but we have this ability to sometimes get into shouting matches. And then once we're done with the shouting match, we're done. It's past us, you know?
And that's good practice for marriage.
Actually, yeah, it is.
Isn't it?
It is, totally. Because at the end of the day, you're talking to a human being. You're fighting and arguing with a human being. And to, like, distill them as one political viewpoint and nothing more, I think is unfair to them. And people change, by the way. I've changed, right? And going through that evolution has made me far more empathetic to people overall.
Change is good.
Change is excellent.
You know, I mean, there's nothing stupider in politics than people who say, well, he's changed his position. Yeah, he was 18. He grew.
Totally.
You know, he got new information came along. Flip-flop, flip-flop. You know,
totally.
If it's generated by logic, flip-flop is good. It means you grew. You learned something new.
Totally.
You went with the facts. You weren't stuck in, no, I believed it when I was 12 and I believe it now. Girls have cooties. That's my position.
It's ridiculous. I mean, also, it's okay to change your mind if you won, the policies you want have been implemented, and it turns out the policies suck and you don't like them, right? I mean, it's okay to admit, oh, this didn't work out. Let's recalibrate. And that was my big issue with Democrats and California in particular, where it's like, oh, we have done some of these criminal justice reforms, and they've been kind of disastrous.
Oh, so much. I mean, if
right?
I could list just the things that the left has done that they think are helping, that are counter to their own goals.
They're literally
That's
getting
how much
people
your head is up your ass, you know, defunding the police,
well,
which, you know, like didn't help African Americans who usually want more police, not corrupt police.
It's even worse than that.
But that
it's even worse than
they want more police. It's so racist. They think they're being anti-racist, and actually it's being very racist to assume that black people, it's saying, well, aren't they the criminals? We can't have a lot of cops around them. No, they're not.
So a really good friend of mine who does consulting for media, like would send me polls. And the polls were about, you know, Black Americans and how they feel about policing and what they want. Do they want to defund policing? Do they want to keep the funding levels the same? Do they want to increase policing? And I was shocked. Poll after poll indicated, no, they don't want to cut funding for policing. In fact, the problem they have with policing is that they don't feel that the police force in their community is doing enough to keep them safe in their communities, which is very similar to what was happening in the 1990s. Like if you go back and watch local news reports out of LA, for instance, in the 1990s, one of the biggest complaints from, you know, people living in, at the time it was South Central, now it's considered South LA, one of the biggest complaints was, we don't see enough police keeping our communities safe. And so the data is the data. You can't manipulate hard facts. And for me, when I signed on to criminal justice reform, what I thought I was signing on to was we're going to reform our prisons. Our prisons shouldn't be torturing people. Prison rape shouldn't just be accepted, right? I want this to be more than just punitive. I want to rehabilitate people. I want to have a situation in which they pay the price for their crime, but they're also being rehabilitated so that when they get out, they're able to be productive members of society. We didn't actually do much of that in California. There's one prison that's been reformed, and it's actually showing really great results, and I hope that that spreads. But the idea of, oh, we're just not going to punish anyone for pretty much anything is not what I thought I was signing up for. But that's pretty much what we've gotten. And preemptively shutting down, you know, 4 to 5 state prisons without really having a plan in place for what happens to oftentimes like violent inmates was a disastrous idea by Gavin Newsom, to be honest.
I mean, the bizarre, just this bizarre obsession with putting women, rather men, or at least people with penises.
Oh, you're going to get me in trouble. You're going to get me in trouble, Bill. You're going to get me in trouble.
Why? There's no trouble for
because
you. Your life is trouble.
I'm supposed to be totally okay with it.
There's no supposed to be. First of all.
Is it bad that I don't want to see a dick in the women's locker room? Is that bad?
No. No.
I just don't. I don't want to see a cock in the women's locker room.
And you shouldn't. And no woman should. I mean, this is basic 101. And this is, again, to my point about, like, if I just listed, and I could do it for a long time, the things that they do because they're so tripped up by their own ultra-orthodox ideology that they think that makes them a better person, to be so counterintuitive about all these issues like this, that this makes them the good people, that they're way out ahead on this issue. And you're not. And it's not what people want, and it goes against human nature, and it's not helping. You didn't, you want to champion women, and you didn't. You did the opposite.
I know, because there's the hierarchy.
You made them uncomfortable,
no,
and
100%,
unnecessarily.
100%. Look,
in many ways.
When you see everything as a hierarchy, literally everything's a hierarchy, well then, inevitably, you're going to find yourself in a situation where the rights of one group kind of falls by the wayside.
Right. It's a zero-sum game.
Exactly. And I don't see it that way. I respect transgender people. I do not want to treat them like the others. I want them to have rights. I want them to be treated with dignity and respect.
Exactly.
At the same time, I also know what it's like to be a woman living in a state where we've decided self-ID makes the most sense. Okay, well, self-ID doesn't make the most sense.
No.
Because obviously, as you and I both know, there are all sorts of predators out there who are going to take advantage of that situation. And that's already happened, right? So there was that big WeSpa story. And it turned out that the so-called transgender woman who was allowed into the women's locker room at a Korean spa in downtown LA was not actually a transgender person, was a person who had a long record of, sexual exploitation and assault or whatever, pretended to be transgender, gets into the women's locker room. And I felt so bad because I bought the cover story when it was first reported, but I was wrong to buy it. I should have asked more questions. And that poor woman, she happened to be a Black woman who was complaining at the front desk of WeSpa, she was dragged through the mud when in reality, she witnessed this person fondling themselves in the women's locker room. Now, this person is not transgender. This is not an indictment of transgender people. It's an indictment of a policy that was not thought through. And as a result, there are women who are going to suffer. And as a result, there are transgender people who are going to suffer because people are going to make the mistake of thinking, oh, well, that guy was transgender and this is how they behave. No, this is not how they behave. We need to be smarter about these policies. It's that simple.
It's so good to hear you say that.
Yeah.
Really good. I did not expect that.
Really?
Well, in general, you're a lot more reasonable than I thought you would. The fire breathers, are always trying to...
I mean, if we start talking about Gaza, I think you're going to disagree with me probably. That's probably where we have the most disagreement. But in terms of the transgender issue...
Well, then maybe later. Maybe later. Because I will definitely carve you into little pieces on that one.
I don't know about that, Bill.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
But on this one, first of all, good for you for saying that. I say it all the time. It's no shame to say, "Oh, I believe the cover story."
Yeah, I do.
Because the cover story just means that everybody has their own narrative. Nobody pursues the truth on either side. You have to work really hard.
Yes.
But since it's my job, I do, to get the full story. Nobody ever prints if you read the New York Times and the New York Post, it's like these two, it's just funny to do it because it's like, oh, I see what you left out. Oh, I see what you
totally.
I see
love
what you
doing
left
that.
out. It's not that either one of you. Oh, of course, they both lie to a degree, and the New York Post is sometimes just flat out funny in how they do it, but
they
just omit.
Yes.
And but like you sound like, and I say this as a compliment, J.K. Rowling, because this is her thing. And I don't know if you saw her take apart Emma Watson.
No, I didn't see that.
There's something that was not reported in the New York Times that I saw. Like we don't see that. We don't notice this. This is not worthy of comment, and it so fucking was. And of course, in the New York Post, they loved it because J.K. Rowling, brilliant J.K. Rowling. I mean, not that I've ever read Harry Potter. To me, it's a children's book, but maybe someday.
Same, yeah.
Okay, but a great one. I'm sure got kids reading. But I just love her because she just says it, and she finally had enough of Emma Watson, who is super woke and one of the useful idiots, also on things like Gaza. And so, which tells you something that her views on Gaza were just as crazy, I think, as her views on, on the women thing. And, J.K. Rowling was just unmerciful. She was like, well, this is not an issue for you because when you go into a public bathroom, you have a bodyguard who stands outside the door, And she talked about how, when I was your age, I didn't have all this privilege that you're always so hateful. I was home working on the book that made you a star. It was, she just wasn't having it anymore.
Yeah. You do get to a point where, and I think on a lot of issues, I'm at that point where you're just sick of the BS on both sides, right? And you want to cut through all of it. And look, honestly, you're never going to get to the truth if you're only relying on partisan media. And that's what I was doing. I was very much in a bubble. I didn't realize I was in a bubble. So now it's like, I have to eat my vegetables. To me, eating vegetables as someone who works in media is reading and consuming content that is going to make you uncomfortable because it's going to challenge what your preconceived notions are. if you're listening to a podcast...
The truth never makes me uncomfortable. It only exhilarates me.
I mean...
no matter where it's, on whatever side it is.
Yeah? And you want to talk about a little bit of truth and Gaza then? You want to get exhilarated right now? I can exhilarate you.
I know you're going to say genocide, and I'm going to say, well, you don't know what the word means. And it's like, if you don't even know what the words mean... I'm
Armenian. I know what the word means.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, it's when you try to wipe out an entire population of people, which they didn't come close to doing.
I mean...
They prosecuted a war in which they were attacked, which everybody gets to do.
Which, by the way, let me just say, if they were literally going after Hamas, that is legitimate. That's totally legitimate. But that's not what's happening.
Hamas hides in tunnels underneath hospitals. You can't go in.
Hold on.
Hamas is the bad guy. If you don't get that, Hamas, you don't get much.
What Hamas did on October 7th was disgusting. Killing. I mean, I don't at all hold back on that. In fact,
that's the easiest thing in the world to say.
I mean,
nobody disagrees.
I agree. Nobody
disagrees.
There are people who disagree, actually.
Raping babe. Yes, there are.
There are people who think I'm wrong because Hamas, they're freedom fighters. What kind of freedom are we talking about here?
That people see Hamas, the people who hate oppression so much, are on the side of the people. And that's not just Hamas. If you social justice warriors, if you have any other issue besides gender apartheid in the world that is above that, you're just a joke. That, if you hate oppression, there is one issue which should be above all because it affects more people, hundreds of millions of women who have basically no freedom in the Muslim world.
Right. So we should slaughter them instead, which is what's been happening.
Well, you should prosecute a war to the end. That does involve slaughter of every war.
I think. Listen, civilians get killed in wars. I think everyone knows that. Everyone acknowledges that.
Especially when you hide behind them.
But when 83%, according to the IDF's own data. And this is reported, by the way, I consume Israeli media on this. I don't consume American media on this. And Israeli media is super honest, way more honest than our media is. So when the IDF's own data indicates that 83% of the people that they've killed are civilians.
Because they hide behind them.
But Bill, do you understand that by killing so many civilians, they are essentially multiplying extremism?
I do understand that. Do you understand that there's very often in the world two very bad choices, and you only...
I mean, I'm an American. I have to vote in presidential elections. Yes, I do know that.
Okay, you don't have the good choice. You have the bad choice and the even worse choice. Israel has been being attacked by Hamas. First of all, the entire Arab world rejected them for 75 years. They kept trying to make a deal. They kept saying, no, we want it all. That's what from the river to the sea means. It means we want it all. We don't want a compromise. They've never wanted a compromise. Israel gave Gaza back.
But did they?
It back.
But Bill,
in
let's say our country was occupied by Mexico, right? We have a bunch of people who are occupying our land, and then they decide,
well,
you know what, we're going to leave.
Hold on, let me finish. They weren't occupying
Let me finish. Let's say Mexico decides, you know what, we're going to leave, but we're going to control their electricity, what goes in, what comes out.
Because they were attacking
We're going to mow the lawn and just like randomly decide we're going to slaughter people because they allegedly threw rocks. They have literally nuclear...
Well, they didn't allegedly.
I mean, Israel has nuclear weapons, Bill. They have nuclear weapons.
And they don't... And that's,
they have the world's military superpower backing them.
Right. Well, they have nuclear weapons, which they don't use. If Hamas
No, they don't use it, but just to pretend
if Hamas had a nuclear weapon, how many seconds would it take before they used it on Israel?
I have no idea.
3. 3's the answer. 3 seconds.
How do you know that, Bill? Come on.
Because it's in their charter.
If they used a nuclear weapon against Israel, I'm pretty sure the very land that Hamas cares about would be done for.
Okay, then they would be martyrs, and that would be a good thing, because that's their death cult view of the world. It's a good thing when you die. That's why they strap suicide vests sometimes on children. The fact that you can't see the moral difference between these two sides always amazes me among people.
I actually don't see the moral difference when you have like Bezalel Smotrich and Ben Gvir literally talking about exterminating the entire population of Gaza.
Okay, they're not talking about...
And these are not, they are. I mean, the statements are brazen, they're upfront, they're honest. This is what they actually want to do.
Well,
I mean, the West Bank is another example.
It's in Hamas.
The West Bank had nothing to do with what happened on October 7th, but they're annexing that land anyway. They're raining terror on innocent people, innocent Palestinians. They're driving them out of their homes. Like, listen, I am willing to admit, because it's the truth, that what Hamas did on October 7th was a fucking atrocity.
Oh, wow.
Killing innocent people.
Who couldn't admit that?
But you have a difficult time at least acknowledging the atrocities that have been committed against innocent civilians in Gaza.
Well, it depends on what you call an atrocity. All wars are going to have atrocities.
A double tap on a hospital? A double tap on a hospital? So when the first responders show up?
I don't know exactly what you're talking about. I vaguely remember the thing.
Right.
Yeah. First of all, that's an old terrorist trick. Mm-hmm. That's what they do all the time.
Okay, but are you at least going to acknowledge that the IDF doing that was wrong?
Yeah, I'm sure they have committed what we would call war crimes, as every army does in every war.
Right, including our own, right?
In every war, including the Civil War. I forget who it was who made the good point. Like, during the Civil War, a lot of people would say, especially in the South, that Sherman did not have to burn Atlanta quite as badly as he did. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I mean, we were pretty brutal. But would you also then just say, well, we don't know who the good guys were in that war? No, I think it was the North. I think that they committed the atrocity in Atlanta. Yeah, that's true. They burned when they shouldn't, and they were very rough on the South. They were still the good guys. They were fighting against slavery as Israel is fighting to survive. And also, you know, they are the front line in the Western world.
I totally disagree with you on this entirely. Well, I think much of the problems we have in the Middle East is due to the enabling of this Look, it's an expansionist policy. If Israel wasn't trying to continue expanding in the Middle East, so I don't think they would be dealing with the enmity, like the enemies that they're dealing with.
They've never been asked. They've never been trying to expand.
They're trying to annex the West Bank right now, and Lebanon, southern Lebanon, and Syria, which they've succeeded in.
These are all places that they were attacked from. When they became a country in 1947, they said, "Okay, we will accept half a loaf." They had as much right to that land as anybody. There was a continual presence there since 1000 BC, when King David had a kingdom.
I don't care about that at all.
Okay, but it's relevant.
But you can't wipe out innocent people because you used to live there like centuries ago.
You're calling them colonizers. They're not colonizers.
They're expanding, and they're annexing land. That's what colonizers do.
First of all, you know, the holidays are that special time of year when everyone suddenly needs help thinking straight. I know I do. Between hosting turkey dinners every year, dealing with outspoken family members, thank God they're all dead, and trying to get the best price on a new TV, it can be chaos. Maybe it's time for some help. So why don't you check out Claude, the AI from Anthropic, to help do some of the heavy lifting. Most AI just spits out whatever answer it can find fastest. Claude is different. Claude is like that one friend who actually reads the whole article before forming an opinion. Whether you're researching a story, stress testing an argument, or exploring new ideas, Claude works with you to go deeper. It doesn't push you toward easy conclusions or feed you some algorithmic approved perspective. It gives you thoughtful response that challenges assumptions instead of just confirming what you already think. And Anthropic built it on this radical idea that AI should actually help humans make progress, not rush us, not flatter us, not shove us toward the easiest conclusion. Claude works with you thoughtfully and patiently. So this season, if you want something that actually upgrades your brain instead of rotting it, try Claude for free at claude.ai/clubrandom. That's claude.ai/clubrandom.
Love the night? Reach for Zen After Dark, a limited cocktail-inspired series for those who get up when the sun goes down. Try Zen's Mojito, spiced cider, and espresso martini nicotine pouches. Find them at select retailers, available while supplies last. Zen After Dark. Bring on the night. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Again, they were willing to take half a loaf. Then they were attacked in Excuse me.
It's way more complicated than that, but it's okay.
Well, I don't know if you know the history.
I do really well.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me the wars.
So, for instance,
when were they attacked? What wars?
Okay, so in 1967, when
that was the first time?
No, that wasn't the first time.
When was?
But when you say that they have offered land to the Palestinians, land that belonged to them in the first place,
it didn't belong solely to them.
The whole point of this whole two-state solution was, okay, we'll give you this territory if you promise not to militarize. Without a military, you don't have a country. You don't have a country without a military. You don't have a country without borders, right? Without a military, you can't defend your borders. So if I were engaging in these negotiations with the Israelis, I would say, listen, I respect the territory that you're offering. However, we need to militarize. We need to protect our borders. To me, that's a big thing.
But that's not what they ever used it for. Again, they gave Gaza back in 2005. They could have chosen...
They didn't give Gaza back in... They left Gaza, but didn't really leave Gaza when they have complete control over the territory.
Because they kept being attacked. Excuse me, just let me finish one sentence.
Go ahead.
They could have turned Gaza into a state that was much more like, I don't know, Dubai or something, if they wanted to. They didn't. Hamas took over right away. They never had elections after that.
You're right about that. You're right about the elections,
They're a terrorist mafia. Their own population is terrorized by them. They don't like them. All they did was import weapons from Iran, build tunnels, and use it to prosecute this war against Israel. They never used it. So, of course, Israel is going to be defensive. Their issue was they were not defensive enough, which is why October 7th happened.
So you're making good points. I'm going to concede to some of them, not all of them, but
no, I don't even know why you want to talk about this.
I know. I'll ask you one more question. We can move on.
It's frustrating because
my problem is, okay, even if I concede entirely to everything you're saying, how about a little bit of ire directed toward Benjamin Netanyahu, who's the guy who facilitated the funding and has totally admitted to facilitating the funding of Hamas? Why did he prop up Hamas? Because he wanted to essentially discredit the PLO, okay?
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of whatabouts you can say.
But it's not a whataboutism. The very man who propped up Hamas is now saying that he needs to fight them.
I mean...
And now he's also funding Abu Shabab. Why are you funding Abu Shabab? Who's also, who has ties to ISIS?
These things are not wrong. It just looks like you're looking for something to make a false equivalency.
This is what I want. Look, I want Palestinians to live in their own territory. I want them to be able to govern themselves. I want Israelis to live in peace and safety.
Then stop attacking them.
I'm going to attack them as long as they're doing what they're currently doing.
They're doing in retaliation for being attacked. Of course it is. They've been attacked. They were encircled. Lebanon. Why are they in Lebanon? Because Hezbollah was attacking from there.
Right, in response to what they're doing in Gaza, yes.
Well, before that, they've had 4 wars there.
Was it when they were trying to annex land from southern Lebanon that they were attacking?
They were not trying to annex land. They were trying to put a border between the country that was continually attacking them. If we were being attacked from Canada, I imagine we would want a little border between Maine and Canada.
True.
I don't think you
really... But while
really...
building that border, we wouldn't then take a little bit of southern Canada for
you're getting this information.
No, it's not TikTok. I'm very well read on this.
Okay.
Very well read on this. I care about this issue a lot.
I see.
I do, yeah.
Let me ask you one question, and then maybe we can get off it. Because otherwise, I just want to go. I want to go have dinner.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in this.
Yeah.
It's not really what I started a podcast for. You seem to be itching to get to it. And now that you have, I'm not going to back down on it because
I don't want you to.
And I'm not Jewish, by the way.
Oh, I didn't accuse you of being Jewish, and then it wouldn't matter if you were.
No, but I'm saying I do this because I think it's the right thing, and because I feel like I know the history and the politics of it.
I respect your perspective.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you had to live in the Middle East, so tomorrow, Anna, you got to go live in the Middle East. Where would you live? You can pick one city, any city. You can, as far away as, say, Pakistan. You could live in Karachi. You could live in Cairo. You could live in Amman, Jordan. You seem to love Lebanon. I mean, Beirut's nice when the bombing's not happening and the assassinations have stopped. Or you could live in Syria. I hear that's wonderful in the summer.
Well, we now have Al-Qaeda terrorist leading Syria.
Or the Houthis, I'm sure, would make room for you.
Yeah.
Tel Aviv, or the West Bank, Ramallah, I think is wonderful for like a little, in the fall, it gets lovely. Where would you live? What city would you live in?
Well,
where do you think you'd be comfortable in that dress?
I'm sure it would not be comfortable in this dress in any of the various Middle Eastern countries that have been destabilized by
You're not
the United States.
You're not really blaming it on Whitey.
Listen.
Are you? You're blaming Islam on Whitey?
I'm not blaming Islam on Whitey.
But what you're saying is we destabilized. That's why you can't wear that dress?
Did we not destabilize?
Wait a second.
We were funding terrorist organizations in Syria during the Syrian Civil War, starting under the Obama administration.
That's why
Did that not destabilize Syria?
No, what's destabilized?
There's a literal Al-Qaeda terrorist
We're talking about your dress.
Oh,
why?
It looks good. I know it looks good.
You're saying you can't wear that dress in Syria because of Whitey destabilizing?
I didn't say that.
Okay, that's what it said. Okay, great.
But the United States did destabilize various Middle Eastern countries. Are you going to deny that?
I asked about the dress, and you went right to destabilize. So is that why you couldn't wear that dress? Why couldn't you wear that dress? Why could you walk down?
You want me to talk about jihadism and Islam, but like...
Why won't you?
Listen...
Why won't you?
I mean,
Why?
I don't believe in jihadism, which is why I'm furious that the United States just had a freaking Al-Qaeda terrorist in the White House.
It's not just jihadism that is preventing you from wearing that dress. Are you saying every Muslim is a jihad? I don't think they are.
Bill.
Okay, why can't you wear that dress?
Let's focus for a second.
No, you won't answer this question.
I'm not going to defend that religion, like that extremist religion at all.
Why can't you just say?
That's not what this discussion is about. This discussion is about
it's very much what it's about.
Ordinary, innocent human beings that I don't want to be slaughtered, regardless of what their religion is.
No one does. Then stop starting wars.
It's that simple.
Stop attacking Israel, it'll stop.
Okay.
But the fact that you can't answer that question, and you know that
I don't know what the question is. What's the question?
You keep doing that.
What's my question? What's your question?
Because you don't really want to hear it.
No, go ahead. I will give you space to speak. Go ahead.
Then you will let me.
Yeah.
Okay. The question is, if you could live anywhere,
right,
from North Africa all the way to, we left out Uzbekistan, you could live there. Kazakhstan, Saudi Arabia, Riyadh.
None of the above.
And
none of them.
Or Tel Aviv.
None of them. Literally none of them.
But if you had to choose one, you would. So to you, Karachi, Pakistan, and Tel Aviv, same thing.
I would figure something out, but
that's powerful. Not as smart as I know you are. That's. Come on. You're going to get killed. You're going to get killed for that for good reason.
No, I don't.
Yes, you are, and for good reason.
Okay, Bill, I'm Armenian. I have literal family members who currently live in Iran. I have no love for the Iranian regime. Let me be clear about that.
I left out Tehran. Would you like to live there?
Hold on. But let me just say something.
Tel Aviv, Tehran.
There is so much disinformation. Armenian Christians who are part of the Armenian diaspora as a result of the 1915 genocide against Armenians.
I know it.
They're living in Iran right now. They're going to church. They're being left alone by the Ayatollah, as awful as the Ayatollah is. So look, I'm not saying I would want to live in Iran. I don't want to live anywhere in the Middle East. I want to live here in the United States of America, the greatest freaking country in the world.
You're like a politician. You're avoiding the question.
No, I'm being as super honest as I can be.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
100% I'm being honest with you.
No. Because the question is, if you had to pick a city, and you're not answering that question, you're doing what politicians are doing and saying, I don't want to live in any of them. I want to live in America. That's not the question. The question is, if you had to pick, would you rather live in Tel Aviv? Because I promise you, you wouldn't last a week in the other places, and you could easily live in Tel Aviv. So if you don't think that speaks of a difference between cultures and civilizations, then okay, we'll leave it there. But I promise you it does. And if you had to actually do that, I think you would agree with me.
I think given my very harsh and vociferous criticisms of the Israeli government, I probably wouldn't feel so safe living in Tel Aviv right now under this government. Under this government.
First of all, they have free speech there, so it would not be an issue. But that is a side issue. We're not really talking about.
We'll
just say just a person, not you with your vociferous talking. Just a regular, a woman of your age.
I'm sure a woman of my age who grew up in the Western world would probably feel the most comfortable in Tel Aviv. I will concede that.
Wow.
Okay, but we're having a discussion about which culture we like, when in reality, I'm having a discussion about the value of human life. And wanting innocent people to live, whether they're Israelis or whether they're Muslims in some other Muslim country in the Middle East.
You know what? When I'm bored, I know the audience is bored.
Yeah,
so I'm going to cut it there because we've been
enough.
around that mulberry bush before.
Right.
So I don't want to go around it again.
Okay. You want to talk about husbands again?
Anything. Anything else.
Listen, and I am able to sit with people I disagree with.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. We disagree on this issue. I don't think that this issue alone is the makeup of who you are as a person. So I just want to be clear about that.
Yeah.
I think that we need to be able to have these kinds of discussions, as fiery as they are, because this is how we come to a solution or a conclusion. You need the tension. I think the tension is a good thing. At some point, this country lost the ability to sit with that tension, because that's where we grow. That's where we learn, right? And so, you've brought up some thought-provoking things. I hope I've brought up some thought-provoking points. I doubt that was the case, but...
I will say this show, whatever the fuck this is, this happens, first of all, it's ironic because I started this because, I have a show about politics. I have a job. This is like, let's do something completely different where we don't have to talk about politics. And
but politics is everything.
Well, especially with someone who's political.
Right.
But even people who are sometimes not, because again, I said if I'm going to do a podcast, it's going to be completely different than real time. Real time, a lot of preparation. This zero. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. I'm high and I'm having fun and I'm enjoying. So it does get like this. It got like this with Laura, not to this degree with Laura, but it would always go back and forth. This one is the biggest challenge of to get back into a good mood.
I can do it.
You can do it.
Yeah.
I'm having the first time ever I'm having a little trouble.
No, Bill,
it's okay. It's okay. It's just very frustrating.
Let's talk about the transes again.
The what?
That's what the conservatives say, the transes. The left turned on me. The first thing that the left turned on me over was I just kind of got sick of the lingo that was kind of being pushed on us and the way that...
Lingo.
Yeah. I don't have kids. I don't want to have kids. And I don't want to be called a birthing person. I find it super insulting. You know what I'm saying?
You never will be.
And that doesn't mean I hate trans people or I want to take rights away from trans. It just means this is my preference. So AOC used birthing people or birthing person.
Of course.
And it was in the context of women's reproductive rights being stripped away from them by the Supreme Court. So I'm already pretty furious about what had just happened in the Supreme Court and the reversal of rights that we've had for decades. And then on top of that, you have AOC referred to women as birthing people because she wants to be inclusive. And yeah, I had a little bit of a moment where I was just like, please don't call me, on X, Twitter at the time, please don't call me a birthing person. I'm a woman. I want to be called a woman.
So you fought with AOC on X? On Twitter?
I didn't even mention AOC. I was just making a point to the public. This is where I stand on this specific issue, right? The terminology that's being used to refer to women. One of my friends who works for a different media organization put out 5 different videos condemning me about it. And I'm just like, is this is worth destroying your friendship over? Really? This is insane. And you know me well, we are friends. And you know that I'm not transphobic at all. I just think the feelings and the concerns and the worries of biological women matter too. And I guess it doesn't matter for at least some component of the left. I wouldn't say the entirety of the left, not even close.
But, the phrase I've always used, one of my big complaints about the left has been the one true opinion. Mm-hmm. There is the one true opinion.
Yeah.
And when you deviate from that, it's so ironic. The people who absolutely hate bullies so much are the biggest fucking bullies in the world.
100%.
And they just want to bully you back into the corral.
Yeah, and you can't do that with me.
Well, you definitely can't do it with me.
Right. Yeah.
But, I mean, they'll love some of what you said there because, you know, the useful idiots, this is the thing that they love, and the people who are marching for the terrorists and stuff. But
Bill, you want to go back there?
No,
I don't
want to go back there. I don't want to go back. I don't want to live there. I want to live. I could live in Tel Aviv.
Oh my God.
Or anywhere else. They're all the same. What does it matter? I just want to live. I do love America. Do you love America?
I fucking love America.
I do too.
God, I love America so much, and it makes me so angry that it's not, that our people aren't being tended to. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that in the context of like, oh, God, we want government to take care of all of us at all. No, I'm just talking about, I just feel like our country is being looted right now, and it makes me so furious. I feel like...
I was reading this really great article about, and I kind of got this, but he put the meat on the bones for it to me. It started out just talking about how the idea of the poverty line, it was based, I didn't realize this, like in the 50s or something, based on like 3 times what a family paid for food. So because you paid, back then, about 33% went to food. But we're in a very different place now because we only really pay about 5%. Food is cheap. But rent, mortgage, child care, like there's like all these other things. And he just broke it down. And of course, this is for families, people with kids and who need child care, the two families, that both people have to work. And but like really like I think it was $140,000 just gets you to like,
that's insane.
Living
like getting by, basically.
A little better, but maybe not even like, you know, big vacation or just like...
Not in LA.
Yeah, right.
That's for sure.
It definitely depends on where you live.
Right.
But like the numbers that, you know, we used to think $150,000. I read that stat recently that like a lot of people make I said, wow, America's pretty rich. Not really.
Right.
Not really, because $150,000 with that kind of a nut is not rich at all.
It's true.
It's okay.
No,
it's okay. And actually, like if you make really low money, you get a lot of government benefits. But then when you make this kind of money, you lose them all. So you wind up like as close to the bone almost.
I mean, you don't even have to get to 150,000. I mean, the poverty line is considered so utterly low that people who are very obviously living in poverty, like they're not making enough income and should qualify for various, you know, programs to kind of get them on their feet, they don't qualify for them, right?
But I explain to me the American economy, because I never can quite get it why they take so much of my money.
Right. Yes.
It's not like
yes. Talk about those fucking taxes.
Whenever I hear like rich people don't pay tax, what? I can't remember the last year when I didn't give more than half. And I'm not even bitching about it if it went.
Listen, there is now
more than half. That's a lot. More than half.
There should be a moratorium on the discussion.
And yet still poor people.
Whether we increase taxes or whatever. And look, I actually think that there are some examples of corporations in particular who get like, they get taxed. Amazon should not be getting a tax refund.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
That's the thing, is that we're like in the rich people that aren't really that rich who get hit hard.
No, you're on a different...
And when you make hundreds of billions, then you pay nothing.
It's insane. It's insane.
Partly because you have an army of lawyers, and partly because it's in stocks and things, and the tax code is, you know, Reagan tried to make it simple. It's not simple, and they game the system.
That's true.
But like, you know, just don't tell me we don't pay a lot of tax. How can you? And I've seen the stats. The government
the money going?
Confiscate a lot of money. And I'd be okay with it, but yes, where is it going? Why is there still homeless, and why is there still like not railroads built in California? Why? And it's just like stupidity and fucking bureaucrats and just everybody with their beak at the trough.
Yep.
And just all this bullshit, and a lot of it does come from the left.
I mean, look, what's happening in California, I think, is a really good example of what graft, waste, all of that looks like. So, for instance, if you look at the state of California, people are paying their taxes. Okay, our state taxes are super high, municipal taxes, sales taxes, very high. It's very expensive to live in California.
Very. And state tax alone is 13, right?
It's insane because of what we get in return, which is squalor, homeless encampments, okay? Story after story involving audits showing that various nonprofits have just stolen the money, have decided to take the money, pad their pockets. It's
safetyism.
Yes.
Overregulation, red tape.
Yes, in California there is overregulation, especially as it pertains to real estate, construction. We need to build more houses.
I said this to Gavin when last time he was on my show, and absolutely, yes, I'm going to look into the red tape thing. It's just that is the one that I think is so hard to ever. It's like they always say, I'm going to Washington, we're going to get rid of the waste and fraud. They never do.
No.
Everybody has their plan, Doge or whatever Al Gore had, and we're going to get the lobbyists, we're going to fucking get rid of that. And they never do. It's that smarmy, sleazy mud flow of consultants and like people who just make their living not really making anything or doing anything or fixing anything. They're just everyone has their little piece, and it winds up, the people, we pay a lot of taxes, and it doesn't quite get to the people or...
No, it doesn't. That's the thing that drives me nuts. In California, it's not like we're nickel and diming people. We have funded various programs to the tune of tens of billions of dollars. $24 billion in homeless funding.
Octomom alone.
I mean...
Remember Octomom?
I do remember Octomom. Is she in the news again?
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
She got a lot of... I don't know what it would cost privately to birth 8 children.
You couldn't pay me to do that. There's no amount.
Apparently we couldn't pay you to give one. Right?
True, yeah.
I totally understand that, but I'm a man, of course.
Yeah.
I get it, and I never wanted kids. There's one thing that's been steady in my life is when I was a kid, I didn't like kids, and I still don't. Like, it never really
love
changed.
Kids. I don't want to be responsible for any of that. Well, that for sure I don't want. But I don't want to be responsible for any of them. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. I don't know how parents avoid violence because when it comes to my family, when it comes to people I love.
They don't always.
That's true. But I just think about, okay, I'll tell you a story because this resonates with who I probably would be as a parent. When I was in 4th grade, I remember waiting for my mom to pick me up. I was at the corner of the school, and as she's turning the street to pick me up, a group of boys from my class pass by me, and one of them slaps my ass, and my mom sees it. My mom sees it. I'm a 4th grader, so I'm like, what, 8, 9, right? My mom's crazy, so she literally stops her car in the middle of the intersection, runs out with a rolling pin because she did have a rolling pin in the car, and she just starts chasing them because she wants to beat the shit out of them.
A rolling pin?
And that was the right thing to do.
What year is this?
This was...
a rolling pin?
This was in the 1990s, early 1990s.
Why in the car?
She would threaten us with it if we were acting up.
Really?
Yeah.
The old rolling pin?
The rolling pin. When I was that age, obviously, I thought my mom was crazy, and I was very, very embarrassed by it. But now as an adult, I totally get it.
Did she catch the kid?
I think she got one swipe in, but nothing crazy. But luckily, because she probably would have gotten in a lot of trouble, But
Anna, if you were telling me this story and it came from the 1960s, I would say that's how we did it. Parents could absolutely hit another kid's.
Yeah.
Another friend, parents, kids.
It was great.
It was very much, it takes a village.
Right.
Yeah. But the 90s, I feel
No, the 90s were so different, Bill.
I feel
the
like
90s were
I feel like
so great.
They would call the cops Already we were into the call the cops phase.
There were no cell phones. There was no like, oh, let me get my phone out and
record
this
but hitting another
woman.
kid with a rolling pin, I feel like would
Not in Reseda, California.
Wow, good for you. Well, it certainly isn't that way now.
No, of course not. Are you kidding me? My mom would be in prison for the rest of her life, probably. Yeah.
Exactly. She'd be
even in California.
For the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, they used to, swat, just, you could swat a kid, like and your father could be looking at this and it'd be like, thank you, Bill. I appreciate that,
My mom,
he was getting out of line.
My mom at like open houses, this is when I was in elementary school, I'll never forget it. She would literally tell the teacher, listen, if my kids are acting up, I give you permission to spank them. And I'm like, Mom, don't say that. Like, you're not supposed to say that. But she was very much of the mindset, and this was an old school mindset that doesn't exist anymore. If the teacher says that you're misbehaving, you're in the wrong. Whereas now I feel like if the teacher says the kid is misbehaving, the parent fights the teacher, which I think is a mistake.
I've always said that. There used to be an ironclad wall. You couldn't break the chain. Your parents and your teacher, and now the parents take the side of the kid.
And I think that's a mistake.
Oh, it's a total mistake.
Yeah.
But I mean, you seem like you're from such a traditional family. They must have been a lot of pressure to have a kid. I mean, it sounds like you're from, what I call villagers, people who have like, what?
Don't say that to my dad, okay?
Well, people who
because in Armenian culture, calling someone a villager is like,
I don't mean it as an insult.
Anahit, the villagers,
No, I don't mean it that way. I use it in terms sometimes with women, like women who like, and I don't mean this as a bad way, but like there are women who like they mate for life,
I mean, I'll mate for life, but not to have kids.
Right, but I mean, and that's what I call them villagers. Like most modern women, like, no, they'll fuck a man a little before but some women are like, no, we only do it if we are like fucking super serious. Wow. And that's great. I mean, not for me, but I mean, in general, it's great if that's your thing. But I call them villagers because it's like, not that they literally live in a village, but it's just the village and that's not an insult. Just you're villagers and I am not. I'm a city boy.
Yep. I know what you mean. Yeah, totally.
But you must get a lot of that kind of pressure, or maybe they've stopped. Maybe they gave up.
What happened with me was I remember being in high school or college, and I went out to sushi with my mom and my aunt, and I got my mom warm to the idea that I'm not going to have kids very early on. So I just remember having...
I love the way you put that.
Yeah, you got
warm to the idea.
You have to like ease them into the notion that your daughter is not going to give you grandchildren. And that's okay.
That's okay.
Because when you're sick and when you're battling cancer, your daughter is going to be by your bedside, as I've been throughout this past year. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I don't know. You just know. You're a man, but I know that you probably went through the same thought process I did. When you know. I'm not really fit to be a parent. I don't want it. And to be a parent, you need to want it.
That's so true.
Right?
You have to be willing to basically trade your life for theirs.
Yes.
Not completely.
And I don't want to do that. No, it is completely. It is completely. I have friends with
what?
kids.
It's completely because the parents of the modern era fucked it up and made it completely. My parents did not. I don't know where I was yakking about this recently, but I saw this person on TV, a woman, it was TMZ, I can say it, and she was talking about, they got into some discussion about kids, and she said, I wish I could have 1 hour a week,
I can't live like that.
It's just like everything, every day, I never have a minute to myself, I'm packing lunches, and I'm doing this, and I'm picking them up, and I just thought, you guys did it to yourselves. My parents did not feel these kind of obligations to be around me all the time.
Yeah.
And we were both happier for it. You did it to yourselves. And you do have to trade your life for your child, yes, if you're a decent person and if you're going to bring a child into the world, but not to the degree the parents of today do it. And they didn't make it better for it. They ruined 2 lives. Congratulations. There's a fucking hat trick for you and society.
I agree. I mean, my most fond memories of growing up is when I'd be outside riding my bike and playing with my neighborhood friends for hours on end.
Right.
You know, at some point, you know, my mom would demand that I come home. But for the most part, you know, when I was out playing with my friends, she just kind of let me do my thing. Now, I will admit, like, we kind of, even though I grew up in Reseda, California, at the time, it was like a little bit of a suburban feel, you know, and it felt safe, even though it was the 90s when crime was supposed to be much higher. But
it is the suburbs, isn't it?
Yeah, Reseda, California, sure.
Yeah.
It was just, you know, working class community. It wasn't like, when you think of suburbs, you think of like beautiful, like polished, you know, landscape and everything. We didn't have that.
No, you just had a lawn.
Yeah.
A lawn.
We had a front yard.
I mean, I went back to my house recently, like 2 years ago, at that Thanksgiving, probably 2 years ago this week. And I wanted to see the house I grew up in. And the neighbors who were still living there when I was a kid.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's impressive, wow.
Next door neighbors. Oh, and their son is one of my best friends. Still, you know, from like 8 years old. So I said, can you ask the neighbors if I could see the house I grew up in? And it was completely unrecognizable.
Yeah.
They had just, because it was very small. But the neighbor's house, which was the same model.
Really?
When my parents bought the house, this is World War II generation people on the GI Bill after the war in the 1950s, you didn't even see the house. You saw a model. They built these neighborhoods, and it's you got 24B. It's looked like every other house.
Yes. That's the neighborhood I grew up in. Tract homes built in the 1950s.
Right.
You know, each one was like a tiny bit different, right? Like, so each other house, like one looked the same as the next one, not the next one, but the one over, right? Like, so there was a little bit of variation, but not much. But the point is, why can't we do that now?
Do what?
Like we desperately need more housing.
Right.
So why the fuck are we trying to reinvent the wheel? Why can't we do the same thing we did in the 1950s? We mass-produced housing.
You know what Levittown was?
Yes, of course.
I mean, that was the first suburb that it was like, again, no variation in those houses.
Right.
Just like they just mass-produced a suburb.
Right. Let's do that again.
Yeah, we could.
Why aren't we?
Because we can't even get the homeless. The homeless houses cost like they keep like $1 million a piece.
I know. I'm working on a piece right now, an investigative piece on Project Home Key. And it is so Project Home Key is the policy in the state of California it's like the housing first policy, right? Like we need to take every homeless person and put them in a hotel room that we have converted into an apartment, which fine. I respect that idea if it's done efficiently and properly, but that's not what's going on.
Hotels. Who came up with that? Because the Roosevelt Hotel in New York, that was used for, I mean...
I think the idea was we have a bunch of these motels and hotels that are like dilapidated. What if we buy them and just like convert them to apartment units, which sounds like it makes a lot of sense, except in practice, it's actually been a bit of a disaster.
Well, they weren't building apartments. They just put them in the hotels. I know how I acted on the road in hotels all my life. It's just a bad idea. Hotels do not foster good behavior. They just don't.
Well, it also just inherently, like the policy inherently minimizes the complexity of the issue in California, and I'm sure other states as well. I'm sorry, but if you take someone who is addicted to fentanyl off the street and you just park them in an apartment unit and pretend, as Karen Bass has pretended, we're going to offer them wraparound services, but they really don't, they're going to overdose in the apartment. Yeah. And that's what's been happening. I'm sorry, but the homelessness issue isn't as simple as, okay, we'll give them a home. No, homeless people, they fall into different categories. There are the homeless people who are not on the streets, right? We need to make a distinction between street homelessness and the people who are couch surfing or staying with family. The single mother with children who left her abusive husband, but she's staying with friends. It makes sense to help her out by putting her in one of these units.
No, it doesn't.
You don't think so?
No, I could tell you how to solve this, but there's probably laws or bureaucrats or whatever. Here's what you do. First of all, Citizens own the streets. You can't be on the street. You can't control this sidewalk. I am a citizen. I pay taxes. The sidewalk is mine, not yours. Sorry. No tents. We put you in a barracks, a nice barracks, but a barracks. I'm sorry, you are where you are in life. We are going to help you. We are not going to judge you, but that's where you are. You have to be in a barracks. Now, they always say—
What do you mean by a barracks? Like, I just want to understand.
A barracks is a big room with a lot of beds. And
so
they
a shelter, you mean?
A shelter, a barracks, whatever.
Okay.
But they say, well, they don't want to go there because they don't, the crime. Okay, pennies on the dollar. Hire a fucking security guard for every row of beds and have them, so you're safe there. We guarantee you safe there. While you're there, we also have an adjacent barracks where there's counseling and there's drug addiction, people get off drugs, and there's food, and it's like, do that. When we think you're ready to go back into society, then we'll have people who are trying to repatriate you back into society. Do that, but putting them in hotels or pretending that being on the street is just a lifestyle, which is where
I'm not buying that at all.
I know, but that's where they went with that. Again, another example of thinking you're helping and you're actually so
hurting
stupid.
People.
You're hurting the marginalized people you're supposed to help.
Okay, let me just be clear about one thing. That obviously it struck a nerve with you and it struck a nerve with me as well. I don't give a fuck about your lifestyle choices at all. I really don't.
Good, I thought it was going to be good.
You are not entitled to overtaking a public park.
No.
Because you want to live on the streets. And I know people, by the way, I was part of the group of people in this country who didn't think that even existed. Who the hell would want to live on the streets? That doesn't exist.
Right.
No, it does. It exists. Unfortunately, it does.
Yeah, cuckoo. Most of them are mentally, something mentally is off.
Right. I don't think that comes even close to representing like half the homeless population in California. It does not. Yeah.
A lot of people are like one paycheck away.
Right. I agree.
You go from, I'll have the rent next week, I promise, to, sorry, that's the third time you lied about it. Totally. And now you're in your car.
Yeah, totally.
And then after your car comes the sidewalk. And those people can be helped.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Get you someplace warm.
Yes.
Where there's soup, okay, and security. It's not that hard to do. Whatever fucking stupid laws are in the way of it, if only a politician could come along and just cut that Gordian knot, because it's not that hard to do, and it doesn't cost $1 million per unit.
So one of the policies that California actually got right, and we've moved away from it, unfortunately, is drug courts. So the way drug courts worked in California was if you committed a crime, not just simply having possession of drugs or using drugs publicly, but if you committed a crime because of your drug addiction,
right,
the judge would give you an option. Okay, well, you robbed someone in their own home in order to feed your drug addiction. You have one of two options. You can either go to prison or rehabilitation. We could put you in rehab and you can get clean. You make your decision now. And a lot of people, understandably so, and this was the smart decision, would opt for rehab. Drug courts used to work, I mean, they worked in California. Why did we move away from them? And we
had drug court?
Yeah, we had drug courts.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did a lot of research into that.
Just about drugs.
Just about drugs, because listen, I don't agree with throwing people, just willy-nilly throwing people with addiction in prison. Like that's not the right solution.
No.
But when you give someone who's in the throes of addiction the option, either you can go to prison or you can get clean, they're gonna go for getting clean.
I think I could do a show called Drug Court.
I like it.
I like it a lot. I think I have the credibility. I have the drugs.
I love that you're smoking a joint while we're talking about drug court.
I have the drugs right here. And I know a lot about the subject. And I think I'd be a very fair justice meeting out, because, look, I've never been somebody who thinks that drugs are all good. I don't believe my hippie friends who want to tell me that this is health food. It's not.
No, it's not. Yeah.
It's not, but it's not. It's more benign than the other drug I'm doing, which is liquor.
By the way, I love pot.
Oh, really? Why didn't you say so?
I mean, I wanted to kind of get a feel for you before I decided to partake.
I think we've gotten both ends of it, babe.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
I think we hit the gamut tonight.
We did.
And thank God we can't. Like, it is almost impossible to leave here not with good cheer. I just want, even that was the highest we ever went up, I feel like, to almost into the Bezos area where you're actually technically in outer space and came down. But we still did it. We did it. We fucking did it.
But I'm capable of it, and I knew you would be capable of it too. Because you're an adult and you're able to let's joust a little bit. It's okay. We can joust and we can come back from it.
You think
I like to joust. Don't you like to joust?
You think you're the first Jew hater I'd talk to?
I'm not a Jew hater.
I joke. See, I'm joke. That's what happens out of you with comedians. With the joking, and then we're coming back, and we're drinking, and we're laughing, and we're funny. So, what do you do for fun when you're not...
My husband.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
look, I'm telling you, man.
It's like that, huh? Wow. And how long have you been together?
We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary.
But how long were you
marriage.
Before?
So before that, first of all, I met him at a club. And
nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing. I mean, people are meeting each other online. So meeting him at a club, I find that super romantic. I met him in person. That's incredible.
Bigger hoes than you out there, trust me.
Oh my God. By the way, I mean, I thought, I'm not going to marry this guy. He's just a hot guy I met at the club. So I'm going to because I've always been a good girl. Like, I've always been in one super long monogamous relationship to another.
You're a villager. I knew
I'm a little bit of a villager, I guess. But don't tell my dad. Don't tell my dad.
No shame in being a villager. There might be shame in not. They would say.
So funny.
That's what the villagers would say.
That they would say that.
There's no shame in being a villager.
So, but what can he do?
And it's good for the guy. He doesn't want to feel like his girls, dirty drawers have been
around
all over town. No.
Definitely. He definitely,
Right.
He told me after the fact, he's like, yeah, I just knew you were a good girl. Mm-hmm. Which, even though I was doing my best to make him think I was a naughty girl, but no, he knew. He
you
could see right
the first night.
I'm not going to say anything that I wouldn't want my parents to know about.
Take that as a non-denial denial.
Exactly. Okay. But what was meant to be ooh, this is me being bad. Of course, I end up marrying him. Of course.
I always felt, and this is sort of the pattern of my life, when the sex happened right away, it made everything easier and better. It's like if we're attracted, the rest is sort of bullshit, and then you're sort of starting the thing on a lie. Every serious girlfriend I had, they never put me through the agony of guessing which date it was going to happen on.
Right.
And I always so appreciated that. That it carried through the relationship.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
It wasn't I think some girls think once he fucked me, then he'll have had me and leave. I guess if that was the only thing about you that was interesting, I might do that.
And if the sex was super boring. I mean, if it was great, if it was a good time, he's going to come back for more.
I'm just I'm like a raccoon who just tipped over the garbage. I'm coming back for more. This was awesome in here tonight. I'm coming back to this house.
Yep. I mean, he loved it so much, he wanted to do crossword puzzles with me after the fact and didn't want to leave,
It's so funny. If I was allegedly seeing somebody, we allegedly would be doing crossword puzzles together. Because, and this is someone who did not have a good education, because nobody does of her age. They just stopped educating people. But the crossword puzzle is something, and it's amazing. I was never able to do the New York Times Friday or Saturday.
Those are tough.
They get harder as the week goes by.
They sure do, yeah.
And I still can't. But when we do them together, we do it in 20 minutes. Because I know what happened with the Ottoman Empire, and she knows Scooby-Doo.
Oh my God.
No, it's true. It's complementary knowledge.
Oh, I love it.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
I didn't know that you were into the post-coital crossword puzzles like me and my husband are into.
Oh, I didn't say they were post-coital.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, they could be, but...
Are they pro-coital? Does it turn you on? Like,
well, I mean...
kind of gets things started?
Are we always having to be coital? I mean, who can live under that pressure? I mean, coital, I love coital, but not every moment is coital. You know,
true.
I mean...
Fair enough.
So, you got to give it a rest.
I like to get my cardio in.
Honey, my dick's tired. Get the puzzle.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, I guess we got back to laughing. Look at that.
I told you we were capable of it.
We're totally capable of it. I'm so glad you came here to yell at me and laugh with me.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
I would do it over in a minute.
Same.
I'm glad. Mostly, I think we are on the same page with so much stuff that matters about talking to each other and not cutting off and accepting the differences and.
I love my country and I love the people within it.
Yes.
And that means loving everyone, regardless of where they stand on politics. Once you see human beings as human beings and you don't boil them down to a political identity, you live a life that's far more enriched, and you actually show that you do love your country. Like loving your country means loving the people within it. You know what I mean?
I do know exactly what you mean.
I mean, I've had whiskey, so I'm starting to get a little bit, lovey-dovey and whatever.
I'm very glad I got to know you. Your star is only rising, and I think that's good for the country because you're smart and you listen and you have a great voice, and so I think our trails will pass again. And
thank you, Bill.
All right.
Maybe next time we toke up together.
Yeah, and next time you'll feel comfortable doing that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Having a baby, that's still off the table.
No, that's off the table.
Good for you. We don't want any more babies.
No. Too many.
I never understand that whole Elon Musk thing, and he's not the only one. But
is that a good thing to have a bunch of kids from different women?
But what happened to the population too big? We only have so much resources. Like they just among the things that they can just pretend. The thing we were saying about AI taking all the jobs. It's like no.
Yeah.
And more people with only so many resources on Earth, we just pretend that that's not a thing anymore.
I guess the narrative changed entirely.
We're doing our part.